I'll just pull my notes and put it up on here. You live, one second, I can pull up my notes. All right, so microphone as well. All right, so this is the Wednesday law class. Also remember we have classes here: Monday, the history class; Wednesday, the law class; Thursday, the scripture breakdown class. Also check out Commanding General Yohanna's radio show, Monday, 2 a.m. UK time. Log into that. Also watch it. You get all the breakdowns of what's going on in the world and on the news and whatnot. You can also phone in. Also, there's classes in the States, Tuesday through Friday, which is midnight our time till 2. Check out those classes. Also, go on the website. There's tons of radio shows you can log into as well. There's near enough what radio shows going on every day. There's near enough a radio show every day. You got a class every day, radio show every day. So just check out all of those and so forth. And today we're going into like why you should never leave the truth, man. I mean, it should be common sense why you shouldn't leave the truth. Because you hear all about what's going on and you understand everything what's going on around you. You understand why black people die so young, man. You understand why black people's in jail, why we're dying from these diseases. Once you come to the truth, you understand it. Whereas everybody outside of the truth, they've got no clue whatsoever. Everyone outside of the truth, they don't understand why their kids is dying, man. Why their fathers is on child support. Why they're from broken homes, why they're in a land that ain't theirs, why this earth's them dominated by white supremacy. They don't understand it, but we understand it, man. So once you come into the truth, you understand all these things, and for you to leave this truth, it don't make no sense, man. You know what's going to take place in the future, and then you go and leave this truth would be the dumbest thing ever. So once you come in here, your eyes is open, man, and listen. Most people that leave the truth, they still know right. They still know what they're doing is wrong. They know what they're doing is wrong, and they try so hard to blank it out, man. They try so hard to blank it out when really they know what they're doing is wrong. What they will start to do is come up against the truth. They try and convince themselves, well, maybe that could be wrong and it don't mean that, and God knows my heart. They start to try and convince themselves of certain things, man. And then before you know it, they become Christians. Then they started off doing one thing, which leads to another. This is how it usually goes. Let me tell you how it usually goes. Someone will leave the truth and they'll make out they left the truth because the UPK is wrong, but they still believe in God. So they claim they left the truth because the UPK is wrong, and I don't need to be in the UPK to serve God. I can serve God from my house. So guess what happens? They leave the truth. They start getting lineups. They start smoking weed. So they just leave the truth to go against God, but they make out like we the problem, man. Listen, if we was the problem and you was right, somehow you would still be what so-called keeping the laws at home, man. But you don't. You know why? Because really, you've gone back into the world and you try and justify it. You try and make out like someone done you wrong when no one done you wrong. You just didn't want to be here no more because you don't want to serve God. And you'd rather be in the world wrapped up with some hoes. You'd rather have dreams of a career, which you're never going to get. You'd rather have dreams of a big career that you're never going to get. And then, that's on you. And then whereas in here, when you fall, you got brothers to pick you up, but you leave the truth. Listen, man, when you fall, who you going to go to, man? Who are you going to go to? You got nobody to go to. So you end up being mad at the world. And usually what happens is they end up turning into some criminals. They end up being Muslim. There's another brother, man. Basically, he was never in the truth, by the way, but he went through every religion. Remember that one? And he was crazy and he went through every single religion. That one in town, man, I can't remember what his name was. He just used to shout. The bold one, man. He got Asbo.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he went through every single religion in the world, man. One day was it I saw a Israelite, whatever the hell that is. Then after that, it was a Muslim. Then after that, a Christian. Then a Muslim again. Then it was an Israelite that liked white women. Go ahead. Yeah, exactly. A nice guy as well, because he's got no discipline and whatnot. But if I could give me a Deuteronomy chapter 30 and verse 15. So I'm gonna go into the Bible, man, because this is what we do. We go into the Bible. Also, if you got any questions, just type them in, man. Any questions, just type them in, and we'll get to them.
Deuteronomy 30 and 15. See, I have set before thee this day life and good.
So it sets before you this day life and good. So now life is synonymous with good, man. Life and good is interchangeable. So it says, I've set before you life and good. So the Lord said, you know what? There's certain things you have to do. One of them brings life and good. One of them brings death and evil. So based on how you live your life is based on which one you're going to get out of the two. So based on how you live your life, one could bring you life and good. One can bring you death and evil, man. Go ahead.
And death and evil.
And death and evil. So one of these things could bring you joy, happiness, keep you safe, keep the Lord's protecting you, keep you in the truth, make sure you're all right, make sure you're never forsaken and whatnot. One will bring you life and good, and then there's a certain lifestyle that brings AIDS, that brings cancer, that brings diabetes, that brings being shot to death, stabbed to death. Listen, there's one which brings good and the one which brings evil. And the way we live in, you know which one we're going through the most. We're going through the death and evil one, man. You know why? Because we want to be drug dealers, man. You be a drug dealer, guess what happens? You go on some next man's turf. He blows your brains out. Your parents cry for you at your funeral. Like, oh, they killed my baby. They killed my baby. Not realizing you're poisoning everybody's else's babies in the neighborhood, man.
That's right.
You're poisoning everybody else's babies in the neighborhood with them drugs you're selling. So your mom's just crying for you. Meanwhile, you got this man right here that's poisoned 1,000 other people's babies. You think their mom ain't crying for them? That they're on drugs, that they're on crack. And there's a lifestyle which brings life, man, where you live, man. And there's one which brings death. So your brains gets blown out over drugs. And the man that blows your brains out, what happens? He destroys his own life, man, because he goes to jail for 30 years. He goes jail for life because he blew your brains out over some money. He blew your brains out over some paper money, man. Over some paper money that don't even mean nothing, man. Go ahead.
Verse 16, in that I command thee this day to love the Lord thy God. And
listen, the Lord said, in that I command thee this day. So the Lord saying to you, listen, I've set before you life and death and evil, but I command you to love the Lord, man. So he basically is letting you know which one of these he wants you to have. He wants you to have life and good, but because we don't want life and good, we choose death and evil. So the choices we make in life, like the Bible says, what you reap what you sow. This is what this is saying right here, man. Listen, you're gonna reap what you sow. Either you're gonna do the right things and you're gonna reap good and life, or you're gonna do evil and you're gonna reap what? Death and evil, man. And you're gonna reap them punishments if you do wrong. And the life that we live in, you can see we're doing wrong, man. Go ahead.
To walk in his ways.
And the Lord said to walk in his ways. The Lord commanded us to love him and walk in his ways. How do you love him? By doing what he says, man. That's love. By doing what he says. Go ahead. I mean, yeah, that's how you love God, by doing what he says. I mean, it would be like a man having a woman and she tells him she loves him, but then she has sex with his best friend, man. Then she comes home and tells him, oh, that was a mistake, I love you. Then she goes and has sex with his other friend, man. At what stage is this man going to, listen, at what stage there's going to come a point in life when you're going to realize maybe she don't love me, man. There's going to come a point in life when you're going to be like, you know what? It's time for you to leave, man, because you don't love me. And you know if a woman truly loves you. Because if any brother says anything funny to her, she's going to come and say, he made a weird comment. What does this mean? And she's never gonna cheat on you, man. She's never gonna open her legs to her next man if she loves you. And if you love God, you're never gonna shove pork down your throat. Right. You're never gonna smoke a spliff. You're never gonna break his laws, man. But obviously, if you don't love God, you're just gonna be like a woman that cheats on her husband every day. in Islam, in all these religions, talking about Eid Mubarak. Listen, man, if you're wishing people a happy Eid Mubarak, you're not in the truth, man. You're not in the truth, man. No matter how much you try and pretty it up, you're telling your Muslim friends at work, oh, enjoy happy Eid Mubarak. Listen, man, they don't ever tell you happy Passover. They don't ever tell you happy nothing, man.
That's right.
But they expect you to get them an Eid Mubarak card. They expect you to wish them a happy Eid, and they don't wish you a happy anything, man. Listen, let me tell you one thing. People in the world, the way how they are, like they not like they have the right idea. They don't care about what the hell you celebrate, man. But we care about what they celebrate too much, man. They don't care about what you believe in. They don't care if you believe that this is wrong and whatnot. And then they make you in the truth feel like, oh, maybe I should wish my Eid Mubarak because I'm being antisocial. When they don't ever wish you a happy Passover, man. They don't ever wish you a this. They don't ever wish you a that. But you must wish them a Merry Christmas. You must write them Christmas cards. You must write them a happy Eid Mubarak. You must let them have 2 breaks at work because they're fasting. You must say to them, oh, listen, go and sit down because I know you're fasting and it's hard. Listen, man, let them suffer, man. Let them suffer, man. They don't even fast properly. These Muslims don't need, how long is it for? Like 12 hours? Listen, man, they only fast for 12 hours. And then what do they do when they open their fast? What's the first thing they do? Smoke a cigarette. You see them outside opening their fast with a cigarette. We should let you know Islam's not the truth. Listen, man, you see yesterday and today, every black man that thinks they're a so-called gangster rapper, every black man that thinks they're a gangster and that thinks they're a G and that thinks they're this and that thinks they're that and that talks about doing all the stabbings and all the shootings. You see all of them dressed up in their Muslim outfit. All of them got on their Muslim outfit and their kufi. Go ahead. See.
This man does what? What's it called?
I don't know what he does.
It's fire in the boot. Behind bars. And all he does is promote drill rappers.
See.
Shit all day. I show you a picture.
See.
He was Muslim garbed out, man.
See.
And then today, he got a new kid outside of it.
See. See, and this is how you, and let me tell you another thing, man. This is how you know Islam ain't the truth and how Muslims are so evil, man. Listen. All throughout their so-called Ramadan, this is what they will tell you. This is what they will tell you. Oh, we're not going to do nothing wrong, man. We're not going to sin. We're not going to swear. So they'll tell you they're not going to swear for 30 days. As soon as Ramadan's over, what do they do? Go back to being evil, man. And this is one thing. In here, we don't do that, man. We ain't hypocrites. We don't look at the Day of Atonement and be like, you know what? We don't. Is that it? Put it in front of the camera. Put it in front of the camera. Put that in front of the camera. Put the camera. Let me see. Look at this. Let me show you a picture. Look at this. This man promotes all the gang violence, all the knifings, all the killings, all the murders, and then now he looks like he's just came straight from Mecca. Now he's just like he just came straight from Mecca. He looked like he just came straight from Hajj. Meanwhile, he's promoting killing black men. And listen, man. Another reason why Islam's garbage as well. This is why every religion's garbage, actually. Look at the Chinese, man. Buddha what? When they claim Buddha walked the earth, what religion did he speak? Their religion, man. No, their language. When Muhammad walked the earth, what language did he speak? Arabic. Give me some more that black people like to follow. Christianity, Krishna. They all spoke their language, man. Selassie spoke what? Swahili. Yeah, he spoke whatever the hell he spoke. Listen, all these nations, they follow what they're supposed to follow because everything that they follow is in their language. But look at it like now, you got what? A black man who wants to speak Arabic, one that wants to speak Geese, one that wants to speak some next language. Listen, man, you can find black men in every single religion. And the Lord's telling us, I've set before you this day, life and death. The Lord gave us our own culture, man. The Lord gave us our own culture, our own language that we're supposed to follow. We ain't meant to be following no Islam, no Christianity, no white man religions. But what do? We follow all these religions, man. We follow Islam and talk about, oh yeah, we're Muslims. And guess what? The Arabs know you're not real Muslims. They know you're not real Muslims. Believe you, me, they say it. You think that, listen, they say it, man. They will tell you black men ain't real Muslims. Black people are just Muslim because it sounds cool. It sounds cool to what? Sell drugs and say you're Muslim. They think that makes them hardcore because they understand that what? Christianity is soft, so they know they can't be against the Christian rapper because they know it don't sound cool. So they'll be like, oh yeah, I'm Muslim, wearing a kufi, thinking it sounds cool, selling all the drugs, and they don't change what they do, man. Whereas once you come to I.S.U.P.K, your life has to change. You can't just be like, oh, I'm in the UPK now and still be smoking weed because you're gonna be outside of the UPK, man. If you're smoking weed, man, you're going to be outside of the UPK, but obviously you can do all of that in Christianity and Islam. Obviously, they will welcome you. Go ahead.
And to keep his commandments.
And that's the thing, man, to keep God's commandments, man. Keeping God's commandments is what? Don't put no other gods before him. Don't be celebrating no Eid. Don't be celebrating no Christmas, no Easter. Don't be celebrating no birthdays. We know there's women you like and they're going to delete you off Instagram or whatever if you don't wish them a happy birthday. So you try and slide in there subtly like, oh, enjoy your day, whatever. You know, they try everything not to say happy birthday. they try and come from the side. Oh, enjoy your day, whatever you do. Really, man, you're just saying happy birthday, man. Go ahead.
And his statutes and his judgments.
And you keep the Lord's statutes and his judgments, man. Listen, you wishing her a happy birthday and whatnot. She's going to leave you one day for something else, man. If she don't leave you now, she's going to leave you for something else. First of all, when she does what? When she throws her birthday and you don't attend, she's going to leave you for that. How could you not come to my birthday? I just can't forgive you. That's what she's going to say. How could you not buy me a Christmas present? I don't forgive you. And then, listen, she's going to go one way or the other, man. You just better off coming into the truth, man, and serving the Lord. And the Lord will get you a woman that will stay, man, and that will understand. You don't understand that Christmas is garbage, birthdays is garbage. Them Instagram women that you're chasing, you have to buy them birthday presents and Christmas and whatnot, or they're going to leave you, man. And besides, they're probably cheating on you anyway, man. Go ahead.
That thou mayest live and multiply. That
thou mayest live and multiply. And listen, man, if we kept God's laws, we would live and multiply. But we're dying out here, you know why? Because obviously we're not keeping God's commandments. We want to be drug dealers. We want to be criminals. We want to be murderers. We want to be stick-up kids. We want to be everything that God told us not to be, man. Everything God told us not to be, that's what we want to be. Listen, they had gay pride last week, and one black man that comes into my slavery, he done security there. So he was telling me, he goes, you know what? There was so many gay Jamaican men there. I'm saying, like, Jamaican men, like, born in Jamaica with the accent. He's like, yes, so many gay Jamaican men. And then he's like, there was one prancing around, man. And then he goes, he was saying, I was shocked to see it myself. I'm like, flipping out, man. I didn't even know. I said, I thought it was just all white men. He goes, no, you'll be surprised. It was black men. And then he goes, look at this picture. So he's saying how he don't like gay men. What does he show me on the picture? Him taking a picture with the gay man. The gay man had his arm around him like this. I was thinking, you sure you ain't gay too? That's what I was thinking in my head. I was thinking, you sure you ain't gay too? And that's the thing, man. They've accepted homosexuality so much that now it seems like 2 in every 4 men is gay nowadays, man. Or has some gay tendencies, which means you're gay anyway. But go ahead.
That thou mayest live upright, and the Lord thy God shall bless thee.
And listen, man, if you would stop attending gay pride and being gay and being a homosexual and smoking weed and being a drug dealer and being everything evil, the Lord will bless you, man. But the Lord ain't going to bless you when you're doing evil. The Lord ain't going to bless you when you're doing evil. But while you're out there selling your drugs, being evil, you think that's God blessing you? Listen, man, the day is going to come when you're going to reap what you've sowed, man. Now, things is all nice and cushy for now. The Lord's giving you mercy, man. The Lord's giving you time to change your life. But you ain't going to change your life. There's going to come a time to where you have to reap what you've sown, man. All them drugs you've sown, all them knifings you've committed. There's going to be a time when you have to answer for all those, man. And guess what? You see that 10, 20 years of luxury you've lived, of all the nice cars, all the money, all the women. Once that sudden destruction comes, it's going to be like those things never happened to you, man.
That's right.
It's going to be like you never had all those nice cars. It's going to be like you never had all those nice women. It's going to be like you never had that luxury life. Once all that destruction comes, listen, you're going to forget about it, man. Go ahead.
Like the millionaires that go to prison, like, I mean, like, bungalows, and still go there, forget about the helicopter, this and that.
Exactly.
Because their mind, like,
exactly.
Like, that bad. All they get to live in good is never happened.
Exactly. And they'd rather come back and just be free and just be poor, not be poor, but just, you know, be on the average wage and do things the right way, man. They would rather do that if they could. But you want to live the life. But listen, there's a brother I know sold drugs from, he was about 15, 16, saved all his money. The only thing he used to buy here and there was a nice car, saved all his money, was saving for a house. And guess what, man? He got murdered, man. What was all that drug dealing for, man? All that drug dealing was for naught. Because he just got murdered. And guess what? He buried the money somewhere and no one knows where the money is. So what's going to happen is what? So we all know some white man's going to find it. Some white man's going to be on his travels one day and he's just going to find probably about 200, 300 grand. And yeah, man, go ahead. And also, next thing, if I could, so lucky, I keep going on, but next thing, all these drug dealers, this is what they do. Now, one time now, drug dealing is wrong no matter how you look at it, but there was once upon a time when what? Remember the days when black people used to sell drugs because they were so poor? So they just used to sell drugs because they wanted to move out the hood or whatever. That's how it started off. Black men would sell drugs because said they was poor. They needed to move out the hood. And then nowadays, what? They're selling drugs for what? A nice car, for the women, to buy bottles in the club. Go ahead, say that again. Yeah, they're selling drugs for Balenciagas now. So they're putting their neck on the line for Balenciagas now. One time they said they were selling drugs because we're poor, we're at the bottom, we need to move out the hood. Then now they just do it for Balenciagas. And then what happens? They sell all these drugs, buy these 30 grand cars, buy these 30 grand Rolexes. And then guess what happens, man? When the police swoop on you, they take that same 30 grand car, that same 30 grand Rolex, and then they bring it to the auction, and a white man buys it for a fraction of the price, man. What you save 60 grand for, the white man gets both of them for like 10 grand. They sell it in the auction for cheap, man. So you sold drugs your whole life to get that nice watch. And listen, the same white man that brought the watch at the auction is the same white man that probably turned you in because he wanted the watch, man. He probably said, if I turn him in, they'll sell his watch at the auction and I'll just bid for it and I'll get it for 3 grand. So you sell drugs for naught. Go ahead.
So I know people that shop for cars at the auction.
See,
know that they get drugs in cars for cheap.
See, that's what I'm saying. They have these auctions. They have these auctions where you get ex-drug dealers things for cheap, man. Watches, cars, clothes. Listen, nowadays police even seize your clothes, man. You know they take your clothes as well, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, they even take your clothes and they value them. They'll be like, yeah, he had 50 grand worth of designer clothes. That's what they'll say. So now they're closing in on drug dealers. They're closing in on drug dealers. And guess what? We all know the black drug dealers, what? They ain't got no business to make their money cleaning. Whereas the white man, he's super smart. He will have a business where his money gets cleaned through the business. An Asian man, he will have a few chip shops and a few car washes where his money gets cleaned through the business. And they still dress normal. What does a white man do? Goes to the Gucci store, gets a nice big watch with diamonds in it, gets a nice big chain with diamonds in it. Listen, man, how dumb do you think the police are dumb? All they have to do is see your chain, see your watch, and look at your income and be like, wow, this man's on job seekers, which is £200 a month, and just follow you for a week or two, and they see you going to all these crackheads, and then they just close in on you, man. And then guess what happens? You had all that nice Gucci, and then you end up being in jail wearing that prison tracksuit, man. You don't even get your Gucci in jail. You're in that prison tracksuit now. Listen, it don't make no sense, man. You're fighting a losing battle, man. There's just no point. Just do things the normal way. But go ahead, sir.
That the Lord thy God shall bless thee in the land, whether thou goest to possess it. And the Lord will bless you in the. This was when we was going into the land, man. The Lord was going to bless us in the land when we was going to possess it, and then obviously we're not in that land no more. You know why? Because obviously we just didn't keep God's commandments. So where are we now? In England, where they have gay pride every week, man. Where gays have more rights than us. That's where we are in this place now. This hellhole. Go ahead. Verse 17. But if thine heart turn away, so that thou wilt not hear, but shall be drawn away.
So it says, if thy heart turn away, Meaning what? If you choose to go against God, man, you choose to do something what you want to do, you choose to follow your lust, man, you choose to do what you want to do and follow your flesh. Go ahead.
And worship other gods.
And you go join Islam, Buddhism, Christianity, Rastafarianism, Egyptology, the 5%ers. You go do all of that. Go ahead.
I denounce unto you this day that ye shall surely perish.
That what?
That ye shall surely perish.
And the Lord said, look, man, you do that, you're going to perish. And look at us now in England perishing, man. Knife crimes through the roof. Every time you look on the news, what does it say? One male fighting for his, I was going to say something. It says every time you look on the news, one male fighting for his life. This male fighting for his life. Two males locked up for life for this. They got a knife statue. What is it? A knife angel. We got a knife angel that the Akim went and saw the other day, man. They went and saw that the other day, all the knives which have been used in crimes and whatnot. They've made the angel out of it, man. Meaning what? Our hurt, the white man just gets some joy out of it. Our hurt becomes an attraction for him. Like he just goes there with his camera, with his Polaroid camera and takes pictures. Our destruction is just something nice for him to come and see in the city, man. A knife angel. Listen, man. Listen, if we made a terrorist angel or whatever, the white man wouldn't make one, man, because he loves his people, but our people, he makes an angel out of it. How are you going to relate the two? An angel made out of knives. It don't make no sense. They just laugh at our destruction, and it's a joy to them, and it's an attraction to them, man. To see us killing one another, it's just something they like to see. They made the angel out of it. Go ahead. I had those all machetes in there and everything, man. All kinds of knives in there. Go ahead.
And
now, if we made a Hitler angel, the white man would hate that, man. We made that kind of angel, they'd hate that, but they make what? They make fun of our pain and whatnot. Go ahead.
And that ye shall not prolong your days upon the land, whether thou goest to possess it.
Listen, man. Where are we now? Across the pond in England. Our days ain't prolonged here. We're dying at 20s, 19s, 25s, 30s. We're dying young, man. You ain't even getting to see your kids or your grandkids. You're dying and your kids is only what? 2 years old, man, 1 year old. Because of the way we live, man. Because we've chose death and evil. And this is why if you're in the truth, don't ever leave the truth, man. You see something that people in the world don't see, man.
Right.
You know the answer to why everything's going wrong, whereas people in the world, they don't know. So how can you come in one day, find out what's wrong, and then you just leave it, man? Go ahead.
Verse 19, I call heaven and earth to record this day against you.
And listen, man, the Lord called heaven and earth, man, for a witness to see everything, man, to record this day. Go ahead.
That I have set before you life and death.
And it says, this day that I've set before you life and death, man. Meaning what? The choice is yours, whichever one you want to choose. Life and death. Life is synonymous with good. Death is synonymous with evil. So which one do you want to choose? There's two paths. One leads to life. One leads to death. Now, that's up to you, man. Which route do you want to go? Which route do you want to go? You got the path of life, the path of death. Which one do you want to go? The choice is yours. Go ahead.
A blessing and a cursing.
And listen, life and death, a blessing and a curse, man. Which one do you want to choose? A blessing or a curse? The decision's yours. The decision's yours, man. I know what I would choose. Listen, the Lord gave you the heads up, man. He said, choose life. The Lord laid them out on the table and said, choose life. The decision's yours, man. Go ahead.
Therefore, choose life.
Hold on, what did the Lord say?
Therefore, choose life.
Listen, man. The Lord gave you this scenario like, listen, man. Choose, I set before you life and death. Therefore, choose life. The Lord's telling you to live, man. Choose life. But obviously, black people is hard-headed and don't want to listen and want to do everything their own way, man. Go ahead. Is there anyone that is that right? Go ahead.
That both thou and thy seed may live.
That both thou and thy seed may live. And our kids ain't living, man. You know how scary this life is? Your kids leave the house and you don't know if they're going to come back, man. Your kids leave the house and you have to worry. Every time you see the news, a teenager been stabbed, you have to worry every time your kid goes out the house. If black men kept the laws straight away, we wouldn't be stabbing one another, man. If we kept these laws, there'd be no such thing as knife crime, man. Black men wouldn't be murdering black men. We would know how to deal with an issue. But because we don't know how to deal with an issue, what do? Get knives, man. Shoot one another over situations that could be resolved by talking, man. But obviously we don't know how to resolve our issues. So what do? Go and get a knife, kill our brothers, and then they go and make a knife angel in Birmingham, man. They make a knife angel because obviously we don't know how to resolve our issues. We don't know how to be disciplined enough. We don't know how to have morals. We don't know how to do anything, man. Because what? We forsook the Lord and we'd rather lean to our own understanding. So a man that comes in here and knows how to do these things and then forsakes them and goes back into the world. Listen, man, do you think the Lord ain't going to get you? The Lord's going to get you for that, man. Listen, it would have been better for you not to have known the way of righteousness than to come in here and go back into the world. Give me Matthew chapter 13 and verse 18. Because if you look at people in the world, listen, they've got no direction, man. You look at people in the world and you're meant to be like, oh, damn. You look at what they do. Like, you look at what they do and you look at what we do, man. Listen, they're getting upset over a movie. What's that movie called that come out the other day and all the women are saying, oh, I'm crying about it when they see us. You heard about it?
Oh, yeah.
Do you watch it?
Yeah.
Is it any good?
Yes, very good.
Yeah.
It will get you angry at the same time.
Yeah. I see women crying about it. Oh, when they see us, I feel sorry for you. But listen, you feel sorry for us black men. Listen, just 2 days ago, you were saying all men are trash and niggas ain't shit. And now you feel sorry for us, man. Listen, nobody understands what a black man goes through, man. Police want to throw us in jail and murder us. You got your own brothers. Listen, you got the police trying to murder us, first of all. You got your own brothers trying to murder you. You can't get a job. The whole world's against you. And then to top it off, your own women say, oh, niggas ain't shit. That's what they say. After all that, man. After all that, that's what you hear. Or you hear men are trash. And when people say men are trash, really they mean black men. Listen, you never hear an Arab woman say men are trash. You never hear a white woman say men are trash. You'll never hear a Chinese woman say men are trash. The terms men are trash in this society only applies to black men. The term no scrubs only applies to black men. The term deadbeat only applies to black men. So listen, black men have it hard on every side, man. And this is the one place where black men can get some love, man. This is the one place where a black man can go somewhere and everybody ain't on his case, man.
That's right.
Where he can finally get some breathing space without everybody trying to kick him while he's down. Everyone kicks black men while they're down, man. And then now they make a movie called, what's the movie called?
When They See Us.
Yeah, now When They See Us. Listen, the I.S.U.P.K been telling you this since 1969, man. And you only believe it when you go to the cinemas. We've been telling you this from before they killed Mark Duggan, man. How the world portrays it. What's it even about?
It's based in America. It was a raping that they blamed 5 young boys for, and they did not do it. The evidence said they did not do it, with the white man being the devil that he is. He was just trying to blame it on him, He interrogated them for hours, didn't make them eat till. And then And then he said, if you say it, we'll let you go. But obviously, their kids say it. I'll say and go. You say it, you get locked up.
So he made them say it and they got locked up?
Well, yeah. And they done 18 years in prison and they came out as adults. And only the person that did do it, he confessed to it 18 years on.
I did 18 years onto it again?
No, I mean, only 18 years on after they was locked up. A man confessed to him, goes, it was me, and they checked his DNA and he was the guy. And then, even then, when it was found out that it was not them, the people that locked them up, because of shame, like, the guy that confessed, he's the 6th member. Like, they didn't want to get him out.
No way.
So, yeah.
So they had to do the full 18 years?
No, they got released afterwards. You know what I mean? Like, but really, the people that originally locked them up, they did not want to let them go. And it's based on a real life story as well.
And listen, man, this is the nature of the white man, man. He said to them kids, what? Own up, we will let you go. And the kids owned up and ended up going. Listen, man, the white man's the devil, man.
Right.
And this is why you have to stay away from him, because he will set you up. He will say to you, own up to it and I'll let you go. Even when you don't commit a crime, they still do that in court today. Especially when you go to court, this is what they say to you. You should listen. They'll say, even if you didn't do it, but just own up to it, you get what? A lesser sentence. That's what they say to you. You know you didn't do it. So you want to say, no, I didn't do it. They give you maximum sentence. So some black men just say, you know what? I'll just take the plea deal, man. Even though they didn't do it, man. And this is the nature of the white man. And who did it? Who did it in the end? Was it a white man a bit?
No, it wasn't his bank brother.
Oh. Usually it's a white man in that case. But go ahead.
Matthew 13 and 18. Hear ye therefore the parable of the sower.
So Yahushua is going to give you a parable of the sower. Go ahead. What's the sower? Someone that plants seeds, right? A sower is someone that plants seeds. So he's giving you a parable of the sower. Because all Christ's parables relates to something. Go ahead.
When anyone heareth the word of the kingdom and understand it not, then cometh the wicked one. So it says, when anyone hears the word of the kingdom and understands it not. So we'll be street speaking, breaking down these scriptures, breaking down how we're the real Jews according to the Bible, how we're not Africans, how with the 12 tribes of Israel, and so forth. We'll be breaking down all of that. And when someone comes and they don't understand it, go ahead. Then cometh the wicked one.
Then cometh the wicked one, man. Then comes what? The wicked one, man. Some Pan-African liar. Oh, we all African, man. We're all African. Then comes the wicked one. Oh, the Bible's written in what? The Bible's written in the Council of Nicaea, like they say. Then comes the wicked one. The Bible's written in the Council of Nicaea. King James was white. The Bible's a European book. When a man don't understand it, someone comes in. The wicked one comes. Usually it's the white man that comes. The Jews are white. Don't listen to them crazy black men. They got mental issues. Don't listen to them. Then comes the wicked one, man. Go ahead.
And catcheth away that which was sown in his heart.
So what the words we put in his mind and he's listening, but he don't understand it. They come and lie to him, man. We come and say God doesn't love everybody. God only loves the Israelites. Guess what the white man comes and does? Oh, John 3:16 says, for God so loved the world, and so forth. What else does he do? Comes and says, oh, it says whosoever comes and snatcheth it away, man. Comes and lies to him because he don't understand. Obviously, it's easy to use trickery. So he tricks him and says, that don't mean that, that don't mean that. And then obviously now that makes people what? Not want to follow the Bible, man. And then now you got some what? People, you got some, listen, Christianity teaches you that what? In Genesis, the 3rd chapter, that the snake is literal, it's a snake that slithers and talks and whatnot. They teach you all of that, man. Listen, man. Come to the I.S.U.P.K to understand the Bible properly. Go ahead.
This is he which received seed by the wayside. So
this is someone who received seed by the wayside, man, at the side, not into the dry ground. Go ahead.
Verse 20. But he that received the seed in stony places.
Now, what stony places? Stony places, you could say, is what? Concrete, where the sower would plant the seeds and nothing can't grow from it because obviously it ain't rooted to nothing. Go ahead.
The same is he that heareth the word and anon with joy.
And there's some people that what?
Anon
go ahead.
With joy.
And there's some people that hear this word and they have joy, but because they're not rooted and they receive it in stony places. Go ahead. They're joyous when they hear it, and they're like, yeah, the Jews are. Listen, you have a ton of them. You have a ton of them on Facebook. You see these ones that receive in stony places that think they're in the truth, but then you see them smoking weed and all of this nonsense. Those are the ones that receive in stony places, man. Some fake Israelites, they listen, they know the Jews are black, but then they're smoking a spliff. If you know the Jews are black, don't smoke a spliff, man.
Right.
If you know the Jews are black, don't sleep with white women, man. If you know the Jews are black, go ahead. You should stop doing those things, man. If you know we're a royal nation, start living like a royal, man. It's common sense. It's common sense, man. Go ahead.
Yet he have no roots in himself.
Yet what?
Have no roots in himself.
Listen, man. Don't be one of those people that receive the word on stony places. where you have no root in yourself, where you don't apply it, man. You just like it because it sounds good. It sounds good that you're gonna have some slaves. Yeah, it sounds good. You thinking you're gonna have some slaves, but you're smoking weed, man. Listen, you ain't gonna have no. Listen, you're too high to even know how to. You can't even. You don't even know how to make a slave do any work because you're so damn high, man. You're gonna be smoking weed asleep on the sofa, man. Listen, your slave is good. It will probably come and kill you, man, because you're so out of your mind, so bugged out, so high on drugs and whatnot. Listen, you're not in no position to have no slaves, man. You're in no position. All you're gonna do is spend your time high on the couch, man. That's all you're gonna do. Go ahead, talking about, oh yeah, we're gonna get slaves in the kingdom, thinking you're gonna get slaves in the kingdom. Listen, man. Don't think so far ahead. How about you think about putting down weed first, man?
Right.
How about you think about putting down horse first, man? How about you think about changing your life first? Think about that, and then we'll worry about you getting slaves in the kingdom, man. At this present moment, you're a slave to sin. How about you focus on not being a slave to sin no more, man? That's what you focus on first, and then we can talk about slaves in the kingdom. You're trying to walk before you can crawl, man. Go ahead.
Boss.
Thinking you're gonna get some reward for doing all manner of evil. No, man, you're not, man. Go ahead.
But do you for a while?
And this is some people. They enjoy for a while, come to class for a while, they'll log in for a while, they'll talk about one West till they bury me for a while. For a while they do it. They enjoy for a little while, make out like I'm never gonna leave this, dude. You know, they give you all the talk for a while. Go ahead.
For when tribulation.
And then when tribulation comes, as soon as a little bit of trouble comes, man, when everything's going good, everybody's like, yeah, man, I'm down forever. I'm down forever. When a little bit of hard times comes, a little bit of trials, a little bit of tribulation comes, go ahead.
Or persecution.
Or persecution. When a bit of persecution comes, a bit of hard times, go ahead.
Ariseth because of the word.
And when persecution comes and hard times ariseth because of the word and whatnot, go ahead.
By and by, he is offended.
And listen, man, by and by he is offended, man. And this is what they to the truth. They say bye to the truth, man. They go, man. They don't come. You don't ever see them again. They get offended and whatnot. Go ahead.
Verse 22. He also that receives seed among the thorns is he that heareth the word, and the cares of this world and the deceit.
So it says, he that hears the word, this one who gets choked by the word, and it says in the cares of this world, meaning what? He's got business plans or whatever. He needs to study and so forth. He wants a degree in something. He wants a master's. So he can't serve the Lord no more because Karafia, no one's never served the Lord and got a master's. No one's never served the Lord and got a master's. You see, you have to leave the truth to get a master's. Go ahead.
And deceitfulness of riches.
And what?
Deceitfulness of riches.
And deceitfulness of riches, man. They leave the truth, man, because they believe without this truth, they deserve all these riches and they got all these riches and they just can't be in here because their life's so good and they're going to be the next rapper. They're going to be the next this. They're going to have the next masters. They're going to be the next big lawyer. The next this, the next that. Go ahead.
Choke the word.
And they choke the word, man. They don't want to do it no more. Go ahead.
And he becometh unfruitful.
And he becometh unfruitful, man. And chokes the word. And listen, he don't care about this word. He just cares about his money, his riches, and so forth. He cares for this world. He more cares about this world that we're in right now than serving God and caring about the world to come. He cares about this world. He's in love with this world and believes that he deserves slaves in the next world. It don't work like that, man. You ain't gonna listen. You ain't gonna get to enjoy two kingdoms, man. Either you're gonna love this one, and you ain't gonna, be the big man in the next one, or you either have to forsake everything, man, in this one, and Yahweh will come with a crown for you, man.
Right.
You think you're gonna get a crown while smoking weed? No, man. Life don't work like that, man. It don't work like that, man. If you know you're from a royal lineage, start behaving like it. Start behaving like you're royal, man. People wouldn't think we're royal because of how black people behave, man. There's a video of a woman walking around the mall with her ass out thinking it's funny. Did you see it?
I didn't.
Did you see Crawford walking around the mall with her ass out thinking it's funny? And everyone's laughing. She's walking and she thinks it's a joke. Like, listen, If you're royalty, if you know you're from a royal lineage, start behaving like it, man. Show me the last time when you've seen Queen Elizabeth with her ass out, man. You haven't, man. Show me the last time when you've seen so-called Prince Philip and all of these, all of them behaving in a certain way. They don't behave in a certain way because they believe that they're royal, right, and they don't mess around with regular people, man. Right. And it's only right we be the same, man. It's only right we be the same and don't mess around with regular people, meaning these other nations, man. Go ahead.
Verse 23. But he that receives seed in the good ground is he that heareth the word and understandeth it, which also beareth fruit.
Go back.
Verse 22.
Yeah, read that.
He that also that receives seed among the thorns is he that heareth the word, and the care of this world and the deceitfulness of riches choke the word, and he becometh unfruitful.
And you hear that, it becomes unfruitful. Go ahead, I think there's one more verse in there.
But he that receives seed in the good ground is he that heareth the word and understandeth it.
And he that hears the word and understands it, man. That's someone who receives it in good ground. Being in the UPK, we receive the word in good ground, man. And we understand it and we apply it, man. And what happens when you plant seeds, man? It grows and it bears fruit, man. And that's what the UPK is all about, growing and bearing fruit. Go ahead. First, it started off with just a few brothers. Then Commanding General Yohanna held on to this truth. Then came in General Mohammed and all the generals, man. Right. Up until what now? There's a school in the UK, man. Listen, there's a school in Jamaica, man. Right. There's a school in Trinidad. Right. We got a brother in Hawaii. We got a brother in Brazil, man. And that's what happens when you receive it in good ground, man. Now I've got brothers all over the world, man. Listen, if I happen to one day, end up on the wrong plane and end up in Hawaii, I got a brother there, man. Right. If I end up on the wrong plane and end up in Brazil, I got a brother there, man. If any of the brothers end up in the UK, you got brothers here, man. And that's what brotherhood's all about, man. I can end up lost and end up anywhere. And I got some UPK brothers there that's gonna be like, all right, no sweat, you can come stay here until we figure out how you're gonna get back there, man. And that's what brotherhood's about, man. Listen, we can get lost anywhere in the world, man, and we got brothers there, man. Go ahead.
Which also beareth fruit.
Which also beareth fruit. Give me Hebrews chapter 6 and verse 4. We're gonna go into some more scriptures, man. Also, any questions, just hit them on online.
The book of Hebrews 6 and 4. For it is impossible for those who were once enlightened and have
meaning what? Once enlightened, meaning what? Once there was in the truth, man. Once enlightened, meaning what? They had some form of light where they could see through the darkness, man. Because before you're in this truth, you're in darkness. Once you're enlightened, like the light gets switched on and you start to see things, man. You're enlightened now. You start to see things in your way, which is making you trip, which is making you stumble. You would have to be an idiot to just turn the light off and just go back to stumbling, but go ahead.
And have tasted of the heavenly gift and were made acres. And have tasted of the heavenly gift. You've tasted of these things, man. You know these things, man. You know what's going to take place in the future. You know this white man's going into slavery. You know that Yahushua is coming with all these angels, man, to come and take over. And then you just go ahead and leave the truth. That's the dumbest thing you could ever do, man. Listen, it's like watching a movie. You know the ending of the movie, man. You know the people who fall out of, you know these people who's going to die in the end. And you go and you know the ending of the movie. And then you go and join the people that's going to die in the end of the movie, man. You would have to be an idiot, man. Listen, you know this book, how everyone who ain't serving God, the Lord's going to destroy them, man. And then you go be one of those people. After you being enlightened, that should make you want to cling to this truth and stay in the UPK even more, man.
Once you've been enlightened and understand what's going on, go ahead.
And were made acres of the holy
and you were made partakers, man, meaning what? You had the spirit of God, man. Meaning at one stage you didn't eat pork, shrimp, crab, lobster. One stage you was keeping the Passover, you was doing things right, man. You had the spirit of the Lord, and then now you leave the truth to go back into the world, man. You're celebrating Valentine's Day and so forth. Go ahead.
Verse 5, and have tasted of the good word of God.
And you've tasted of the good word of God, man. God's saying, yo, you're going to have a crown of life if you just endure till the end. You're going to be on top. You're going to be ruling over the other nations, man. You're going to have slaves. People's going to pick your cotton. You're going to dictate which country gets rice, which country don't get rice. You're going to dictate which country gets chicken. You're going to say to these Easterners, you know what? There's a shortage on chickens. You're just going to have rice on its own today. You're going to have that kind of you're going to have that kind of authority, man. You're going to be like, you know what? Usually ain't picked enough crops, or usually ain't done enough work today. You're not going to eat that much today. I'm gonna give between 15 of you, you're all going to share one chicken leg. You can make those calls, man. You know all of this, but you're going to leave the truth. Go ahead.
And the hours of the world to come.
And you know the powers of the world to come, man. You know how this new world is going to be set up, man. With black people ruling, us like running everything coming through us. You know all this, but then you go and leave the truth. Go ahead.
If they shall fall away, to renew them again unto repentance, seeing they crucified.
And listen, if you fall away, you know that Yahushua died for you, so you changed your life in the beginning and you was once enlightened and had the Spirit of God. Go ahead.
Seeing they crucified to themselves the Son of God afresh.
And listen, man, you leave the truth, man. You just crucify him again, man. You just string him up on the cross and you just spit in his face. That's what you do. You spit in his face, and you're as bad as the brothers that gave him. Oh, you can say something. Oh, yeah, and you're as bad as the brothers that gave him over to the Romans, man. You've just gave him over to the Romans again, man. Right. That's what that means once you leave the truth. Listen, just because you wasn't there physically when they killed Yahushua, every time you leave the truth, you kill him afresh, man. You do the same thing. It just shows. Listen, you know what it shows? This is what it shows if you leave the truth. It shows that when Yahushua was put on the cross, you was there murdering him. Man. Right. That's what it shows. It shows you was there murdering him. That's all it shows, man. You're thinking just because you don't remember physically being there. Listen, you was there, man. You was there, man. If you leave this truth, man. And if you stay in this truth, you was one of them that was down with Yahushua, man. That followed him wherever he goes, man. Go ahead.
And put us in to an open shame.
And you put him to an open shame, man. You crucify him again, and you put him to an open shame if you leave the truth. Listen, I ain't lying to you. I'm just telling you. That's what the scripture's basically saying right there, man. You put him to an open shame. Any more on that?
Yeah, verse 8. Go ahead. But that which beareth thorns is rejected.
That which beareth thorns is rejected, man. Listen, man. You kicked out of this truth because maybe what you ain't bringing no fruit, man. You're doing this truth a disservice, man, more than anything. Some people trying to smoke weed behind the scenes, and you claim you love God, but then you're still selling drugs. You claim you love God, but still doing everything wrong, man. Listen, the truth don't work like that, man. There's gonna come a time where you're gonna be rooted out. Give me a. Let me know if we got anything in line, and give me Matthew 12:43 if there's nothing there.
Matthew 12:43.
What did you want?
I get a breakdown Genesis 1.
Yeah.
What? 1 to I believe 31. Gracious luck has a question will take long.
Let's just get them. Give me just the first part. Let's just get the main part.
Genesis 1 to 31.
No, not all of it. Just
1 to 31.
let's just give them the first few verses because it kind of It's kind of, it all says the same thing about creation. So this, yeah.
Genesis 1:1. In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth.
So it says, in the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. Now, when it talks about the heaven and the earth, it's talking about what we are now and the skies and so forth. People read this like this is talking about the place where God's staying. It's not talking about that. His place, it don't even mention it because obviously it was already created. Go ahead.
And the earth was without form and void.
It says, and the earth was without form and void, meaning what? It had no form to it, had no shape to it, just had what? Elements and everything floating around, as you could say. Go ahead.
And darkness was upon the face of the deep.
And darkness was upon the face of the deep. The face of the deep is what? The space, right? The face of the deep is space. Go ahead.
And the Spirit of the Most High moved upon the face of the waters.
And the Spirit moved upon the face of the waters, which is what? The Elohim, which is a plural, for the angels and so forth. Go ahead. The powers, you could say. Go ahead.
And the Most High said, let there be light.
And what?
And the Most High said, let there be light.
So now, at this stage, it says the earth was formed and without void. And God said, let there be light. So what did the angels do? Created light. Obviously, all the elements was all over the place. If you know anything about science, obviously, how do you create light? You create light with what? You put a few elements together, right? You put a few atoms together. Yeah. So that's what it was. So when it says the earth was formed and without void, it means all the atoms was just all over the place. So you see how people look at science today. The earth was created with science, man. These angels was real scientists, man. Science is in the Bible. So they would take what? Hydrogen and whatnot, pull it together. That would create a star. That would create light. They would take some more atoms. That would create water. They would put this and that together. That would create whatnot. So that's what it means when it says it was formed and without void, meaning all the atoms was just all over the place, and then it was put together, and that's how they created it. Go ahead.
And there was light.
And there was what?
And there was light.
So the angels put these atoms together because the Lord wanted light. So they put these atoms and so forth together, and it created the light. Go ahead.
Verse 2. And God's like verse 3. Looks like verse 4.
So God gave the order, and then it was carried out. Like obviously, it says that, and God said, "Let there be light." Christians read it like this: that God said, "Let there be light," and boom, light just was straight away. That's how Christians read it. That God said, "Let there be light," and light just boom straight away. Listen, man, God was giving down an order. Like, listen, let there be light. It's like me saying, "Yo, let there be a drink on this table." The drink ain't just gonna boom. Someone's gotta bring the drink. And I'm going to taste the drink and say, that's good. That's what the Lord did with this creation, man. He said, let there be light. The Elohim created the light, took the atoms, put it together. Go ahead.
And God saw that the light was good.
And God saw that the light was good. He looked at what they made and said, yo, this is tawab, man. You see like how you get an order from a brother that's over you in the school. And when he sees what you've done, he comes and says, yeah, that was a tawab job. The Lord done the same thing, man. Said, yo, that was a tawab job. Go ahead.
And God divided the light from the darkness.
And God divided the light from the darkness. And don't get this confused with the sun and the moon, because this is what the white man tries to say in it. How if the sun and the moon was created on the fourth day, is the light in the first day? Listen, this is a different light to the sun and the moon. The sun and the moon, that was the greater light to rule the night and the day. But there's also lights which separates the night from the day, which is here, which is different to the sun and the moon. Go ahead.
God.
I'm going to get that in a minute. Go ahead.
Divided the light from the darkness.
And he divided the light from the darkness. Go ahead.
And God called the light day.
And God did what?
Called the light day.
And he called the light day. So this separated night from day. Go ahead.
And the darkness he called night.
And the darkness he called night. So when it's dark outside, that's the night time. Go ahead. So he separated, divided the two. The light he called day, the darkness he called night. Go ahead.
And the evening and the morning were the first day.
And the evening and the morning were the first day, which lets you know what? A new day starts when in the evening. A new day starts in the evening, whereas the white man will have you think a new day starts in the morning. It don't work like that. Go ahead.
Verse 6. And God said, let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters.
It says, let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters. Go ahead.
And let's divide the water from the waters.
It says, let's divide the waters from the waters. And basically, oxygen is what water too, right? So oxygen's water too. So it says, let's divide the waters from the waters. That's what it's talking about. Go ahead.
What? Outer space.
Yeah, the water outer space and oxygen and here, water outer space and water here. And also, oxygen is what? Another form of water. Go ahead.
Like when they said, that's why it's deep like the water. The space is water. Like,
exactly.
Gen.YAHANNA said, he goes, when you go into space, you call it a spaceship. Because you're on a ship, something goes on water.
Exactly.
And let divide the water from the waters.
Let's go ahead.
And God made the firmament and divided the water which were under the firmament from the water which were above the firmament.
And he divided the water which was under the firmament, which was what? Under the heavens, as you could say, and which was above it, divided the two. Go ahead.
And it was so. And God called the firmament heaven.
And he called the firmament heaven. Firmament is what? The sky. Go ahead.
And the evening and the morning were the second day.
And the evening and the morning were the second day. Go ahead.
And God said, let the waters under the heaven be gathered together into one place.
And he said, let the waters under the heavens be gathered together into one place, which is what your seas and your rivers and that, which is your seas and whatnot. So he gathered it into one place, which lets you know at one stage what? The waters was everywhere. So now they're adding structure to the earth. They're adding structure to the earth. He said, let the waters be gathered into one place. So now they're gathering it into one place. So now they're gathering it into the seas or whatever, your rivers or whatever you call it. Go ahead.
And let the dry land appear.
And then he says what?
And let the dry land appear.
It says, and let the dry land appear, which means what? Before this dry land appeared, it was what? All water. So they gathered all the water to one place, and then they said, let the dry land appear. Meaning what you're walking on now is dry land. Go ahead.
God. And God called the dry land earth.
And God called what?
The dry land earth.
And God called the dry land the earth. And this is what we're standing on right now, earth, because that's what he called the dry land. Once he separated it and gathered all the waters into one place. Go ahead.
And gathering together the waters called he seas.
And gathered together the waters called he seas. And this is where you see all the seas that you see. I believe there's what seven big ones. Seven seas in it. The Tigris, what is it? The Python. That's the old names for them, innit? The Tigris, the Python, the
Mediterranean Sea.
Mediterranean. You got the Go ahead.
And God saw that it was good.
And God saw, and God said, yeah, this to all. Go ahead.
Verse 11. And God said, let the earth bring forth grass and herb yielding seed.
And God said, let forth, bring the. I'm just going to read it down to the fourth day. Then after that, you're going to have to let me know what verse you want is the main part. But go ahead.
And the fruit tree yielding fruit after his kind.
And God said, what? Bring forth the trees after its kind. Meaning what? And make it have seed. Meaning what? What happens with these seeds? You plant it and it keeps growing and growing and growing. Right, the next one comes, the next one comes, the next one comes. Go ahead.
Whose seed is in itself.
Whose seed is in itself. Like a man's seed is in itself. A man plants that seed and what comes? Children. Go ahead. Say like if you plant that apple seed, what comes? Another orange tree. Well, no, if you plant an apple seed, another apple tree. So lucky. You plant an apple seed, another apple tree. Go ahead.
Upon the earth and it was so.
Upon the earth and it was so. So they was following God's orders that it was given out. Go ahead.
And the earth brought forth grass.
And the earth brought forth grass because God wanted it to. God told him to. Go ahead.
And herb yielding seed after his kind.
And each tree brought forth its own kind. Go ahead. Which lets you know everything brings forth its own kind. A black man brings forth black kids, man. That's how it goes. Whatever the father is, that's what the child is, man. Whatever the seed is, that's what's going to come up. Whatever seed you plant, the same thing that you plant is going to come up. Go ahead.
And the tree yielded fruit, whose seed was in itself.
And its seed was in itself. Go ahead.
After his kind, and God saw that it was good.
And then God said, yeah, it's tawab.
And the evening and the morning were the third day.
The evening and the morning were the third day. Go ahead.
And God said, let there be lights in the firmament of heaven.
He said, let there be lights in the firmament of heaven. This is the part here that these Muslims can't understand because they're so dumb. And they read so fast and got no reading comprehension. Go ahead. Because they're so dumb and they celebrate Eid and they don't even fast properly. So they're so dumb. I mean, they don't even understand how to fast, so I don't expect them to understand this either. Go ahead.
To divide the day from the night.
So it says, all right, then put lights in the firmament to divide the day from the night. Go ahead.
And let them be for sign and for seasons.
And now he created one. These lights here is different to the ones you read about in the beginning. Go ahead.
And for days and years.
And it says, let these be for feasts and for days and years. Because when people do what, get the feast days, what do they do? Go by the moon, right? They go by the moon and whatnot to know which season they're in and so forth. So this is what this light here's for. Go ahead.
And let them be for lights in the firmament of heaven, to give light upon the earth, and it was so. And
this one was to give light upon the earth. Go ahead.
And the Allah Higher made 2 great lights.
And he made what?
2 great lights.
He made what?
2 great lights.
So here it said he made 2 great lights, man. Now these great lights here is different to the lights that you read about in the first few verses. Go ahead.
The first verse is only 1 great light. The light of darkness.
Exactly.
2 great lights.
Exactly. And he made these lights here for a reason, to rule over the earth. Go ahead.
The greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night.
And he made what?
And the greater light to rule the day.
And he made the greater light to rule the day. Go ahead.
And the lesser light to rule the night.
And the lesser light to rule the night. And listen, these Muslims who don't agree with this is so dumb. Like they make out like what? God can only make what one light. God can only make one light. Listen, man. That's like, listen, in my kitchen, I've got about 10 cups. Are you saying I should only have 1 cup? Listen, man, God creates what he wants to create, man. He made lights in the beginning, then he made these lights here, these greater lights to rule the day and rule the night, man. It don't mean the other lights don't exist. It don't mean there's a contradiction. You just don't understand the Bible. Go ahead.
And he made the stars also.
And he made the stars also, man. Also the same way. How do they make stars? Do they use what? I can't remember what they use, but they use some atoms as well and so forth. So for anyone saying that this is a star, this ain't a star, man. A star is what? A ball of gas. It tells you that in the wisdom of Solomon, man. In the wisdom of Solomon, chapter 12 and verse 2. That's what a star is, man. Go ahead.
Yeah, he said that his 12.
Yeah. All right, then no sweat. There's no more in that. That's the main part, isn't it? All right then, yeah. All right then, I'll give you that for time's sake. But if there's anything more that you don't understand in the verse or you need breaking down, just let me know, and then I'll get to it. From there, give me Proverbs chapter 26 and verse 11.
Proverbs 26 and 11. A dog returneth to his vomit.
A what?
A dog returneth to his vomit.
Is there any more up from the verse up above? Or is that where it starts? Yeah, go ahead.
The great God that formed all things, both rewardeth the fool and rewardeth transgressors.
Go ahead.
As a dog returneth to his vomit.
As a dog returneth to his vomit, man. Meaning, obviously, a vomit is what? Vomit is what? Sick. Go ahead.
So, a fool returneth to his transgression.
Listen, man. A dog that returns to his vomit is like a man that is the same as a man returning back to his wickedness, man. Listen, you wouldn't vomit and then go sit in it and rub your nose in it and whatnot. That's how you look when you return back to wickedness. That's how you look when you return back to breaking God's laws, man. You're like a dog that returns back to its vomit, man. When you do that, go ahead.
God, seest thou a man of wise in his own conceit?
And listen, man. Read that again from the top.
As a dog returneth to his vomit, so a fool returneth.
As a dog returneth to his vomit, man. And you know what vomit is? Vomit is going back to eating pork, shrimp, crab, lobster, going to the strip club, going back to the trap house, to the bando. That's what vomit is, man. You returning back to all that. That's you returning back to your vomit. That's you returning back to evil, man. You returning back to your vomit. And listen, God's going to punish you for doing all of that, man. Returning back to your vomit. Give me a 2 Timothy chapter 4 and verse 2. Also, if there's any more questions, just type them in and we'll get to them. Returning to your vomit is a disgusting thing, man. And that's why the Lord relates it to returning back to your vomit. So that's not what you want to be doing, man.
2 Timothy 4 and 2. Preach the word, be instant in season.
It says preach the word, be instant in season. That's what we do. We preach the word, man, in season, and we instant. Go ahead.
Out of season, reprove, rebuke, exhort.
And it says reprove, rebuke, exhort. So when you come in here, understand this. You're going to be corrected from time to time, man. Sometimes, listen, you have to learn to take correction. Sometimes you'll be getting checked, and obviously a part of you thinks I did nothing wrong, but just take the correction, man. Obviously, if a man over is checking you, it's obviously for a reason, man. He's looking out for his soul, man. There's a scripture that says, well, I can't remember what it says. You know what I'm on about? What did it say?
Them that have the rule over you.
Yeah, that one. There you go. So a man that's checking you is because he has rule over you, man, and he cares about your life, man. The reason no one don't correct you in the world is because no one cares about your life. No one cares about if you live or die. That's why they don't correct you, man. But in here, brothers want to see you reach the best of your ability, man.
Right.
So they're going to check you to make you a better person. They're going to check you to make you a better person, man. Go ahead. It's like anything you do, you have to go through hard times to become a better person, man. Go ahead.
And doctrine, for the time will come when they will not endure sound doctrine.
And the time will come when people won't endure sound doctrine. Like before we started class, Officer Croft was saying these fake Israelite groups got what? What was he saying again? Say it again.
People smoking.
Yeah, you got people saying people smoking, people in the African clothes. What is it? Dashikis. People with dashikis with fringes on.
Even Muslim clothes.
Even Muslim clothes as well. Listen, man, there's gonna come a time when people ain't gonna endure sound doctrine, man. There's gonna come a time where what? Curtain fringes go on the bottom of t-shirts, man. There's gonna come that time, man. There's gonna come a time where what? People wear African garments. There's gonna come a time where what? Africans is claiming the Israelites. There's gonna become a time where what? These fake Israelites got Africans in their camps. Africans with names like what? Tukunde. people with names like, listen, ain't nobody called Tukunde coming in this camp, I'm telling you. The I.S.U.P.K has been preserved by the law, but these fake Israelite groups, you got Africans with the name Tukunde and all kind of things, man. So forth, telling you they're from the tribe of Judah. All of those kind of things. Listen, man, we ain't having none of that in here, man. And this is why when you look at the I.S.U.P.K, you'll see that we different to everybody else, man. We separate, man. And we hold on to this truth, man. We keep the traditions. Because these fake Israelites do what? They don't endure sound doctrine. They change the doctrine. Oh, guys, you can say something. Anytime you're trying to just let me know. But they don't endure sound doctrine. Go ahead.
Yeah, they can't stand it that much. It's like basically to do what they want to do, and they always got some excuse. But that scripture on the spiritual side,
exactly.
It's just an excuse to do what they want to do.
Exactly. And then before you know it, their camp has what? White people in there. Then Africans is in there. Then this person's an Israelite. Then anybody can serve God. Anyone can do this. Anyone can do that. They don't endure sound doctrine, man. And what the I.S.U.P.K has, we have this pure sound doctrine, man.
Right.
There's only one place which has the truth, and it's the I.S.U.P.K. And when you look at these groups outside of the I.S.U.P.K, these Christian groups, you see that they don't have the truth, man. Just look at them. There's always some scandal going on, man. One man goes to the brothel to have sex with a transvestite and shoots it, man. Listen, man, he goes and has sex with a transvestite and then shoots it, man. Because they don't endure sound doctrine, man. Go ahead. Sound doctrine is you can't be gay, man.
Right.
But they don't endure sound doctrine, so they be gay. Go ahead.
God. They heed to themselves teachers having itching ears.
And they get themselves teachers that have itching ears, man. They get teachers that tell them what they want to hear. They get teachers that tell them, listen, smoking weed is good, man. Herbs comes from the ground, man. It's pure herbs comes from the ground, man. Smoke it, it's good for you. It puts your mind at ease. So listen, I heard some lunatics say that weed grew on Solomon's grave. Yeah, have you heard that one as well? They teach it that weed grew on Solomon's grave, and that's why they smoke it. That weed grew on Solomon's grave. Listen, man. Grass grows on people's graves. Why don't you smoke that, man? Dirt's on people's graves, man. Why don't you smoke dirt, man? Listen, you're just trying to find any excuse to be a sinner, man. About weed grew on his grave, so you smoke it. Listen, man. Daffodils grow, man. Why don't you smoke daffodils then? What else grows? Potatoes and carrots grow. Why don't you smoke carrots, man? Listen, they're just trying to find any excuse to fulfill their lust. And there's teachers here that make them feel at ease. That tell them smoking weed ain't all that bad. Go ahead.
They use the other one about in the book of Revelations about the
tree
to be of life. When weeds are planted, it's like in the tree. The bullshit, that.
And they use that one to say what? The tree of life is weed.
Yeah.
That weed that gives you cancer and makes you psychotic. That gives you psychosis. And gives you all them side effects. There's a ton of side effects that comes with it. Go ahead.
It's culture, guys.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Exactly like the brother said, man. It's called the tree of knowledge, but weed gives you anything but knowledge, man. Weed gives you cancer, and weed makes your hair fall out, and it makes you fall. Listen, to speak to someone that smokes weed, have you noticed their reaction time is slow? You say something to them and they process it like 2-3 minutes later. Listen, weed ain't good for you, man. But a teacher with itching ears will tell you that weed's good. Go ahead.
I got a verse there.
Yeah, go ahead.
Ecclesiasticus 32 and 17. A sinful man will not be reproved.
Listen, a sinful man won't be reproved, man. A man that wants to sin, he won't be corrected. He won't let you correct him. He will tell you all day long about, no, what you're saying is wrong. This is right. This is right. This is right. He won't be reproved, man. You can't correct him. Go ahead.
But findeth an excuse.
But what?
But findeth an excuse.
No, weed grew on Solomon's grave.
Findeth an excuse.
No, the tree of knowledge just means you smoke weed.
Findeth an excuse.
Listen, man, they find an excuse, man. That's what they do. They find an excuse. Go ahead.
According to his will.
And he finds an excuse according to his will, man. They find excuses according to his will, man. People that love Africans say, oh, the West Africans are Israelites because what? They love them African women, man. They find the excuse. Go ahead, what you say? Yeah, they love Storms as well. They love Anthony Joshua as well. They find the excuse, man, according to his will, man. According to what they love, they find the excuse. Well, you know, brother, we was in West Africa, so those is our people. Listen, man, that don't make no sense, man. Anyone that? Oh, that's about it. Where did we leave off on the last one? Yeah, go ahead.
Having itching ears, and they shall turn away their ears from the truth.
And they shall what?
Turn away their ears from the truth.
And this is most people, man. They turn away their ears from the truth. They don't want to hear the truth. When we tell the truth, what do they say? Oh, you judging me? You judging me? That's all they say, man. They turn away their ears because they don't want to hear the truth. And then they go and get them some teacher that tells them some lie, man. Go ahead. Tells them to love everyone and tells them you can smoke weed and everyone's welcome. Go ahead.
And shall be turned into fables.
And what?
Shall be turned into fables.
And then now they're turned into fables, man. To believe all these stupid kind of stories. They turned away their ears from the truth and now they read the book of Enoch now. Now they read the book of Joshua now. They read what else? Now they read the Apocalypse of Paul now, which tells you the Sabbath's on a Sunday, and they still read it. They read the Apocalypse of Paul now, which tells you that Paul went to some fiery place under the ground and some God. It's such garbage. Now they read the book of Barnabas now. They've been turned into fables, man. And then listen, they swear blind that the book of Enoch and the book of Joshua is in the Bible. No, it's not, man. It's a lie, man. It tells you that it's not even true, man. And they be turned into fables. Listen, even according to the measurements, man, the giants was what? And how high is that? Yeah, I can't remember how. I think there was like what? About the size of 8 double-decker buses, right?
It was like a mountain, and it had to weigh like 100 tons.
Yeah.
And if one is 2.
You see.
So walking.
And also, man, if you understood the Bible, you would know that can't be true because the height that it tells you that these angels was in the book of Enoch, and then when you read Genesis, when you know the part where it tells you how high the flood waters went. According to Enoch, these giants, there's no way they could have drowned according to what's it called? Because apparently when they came up to like their stomach. So you see, when you're in the shallow end in the pool, the flood would have just been at the shallow end. But because they don't understand the Bible, they make out like what these angels. I can't remember how much feet it was. It was ridiculous though. It was just so dumb. And they claim that these big. How much ton do the weigh again?
100 tons.
So they said they weighed 100 tons, and they claim that these angels, these so-called fallen angels, was having sex with women, man. Having sex with women that who can't even hold the weight of a man that's about 5'11", man. You get me? You get me? They can't even hold the weight of a man that's about 5'11" in height and they're so about 200 pounds, and you mean to say they have the weight of these 100-ton, which weighs more than an elephant? Listen, man. Simple logic would let you know all these books is silly. Simple logic would let you know all these books is childish. And if you got the book of Enoch and the book of Joshua and Jubilees, just burn them. Because they go against the Bible, man. They tell you the opposite to the Bible. Those books, just burn them. That's all you do with them is just burn them because the garbage and they're not true. Go ahead, where was we? Go ahead. And most of these people is turned onto fables, thinking they're reading thinking they're deep because they're reading something in the book, saying, "Oh, we can't eat potatoes because it's from a what? What did they say? It's root cuttings or something." Yeah. Oh, we can't eat potatoes. Listen, man. They say they can't eat potatoes. The GOCC one stage they said they couldn't eat potatoes, but they used to eat the chips when they went Nando's, man. Like they used to go to Nando's and eat the chips and so forth. Go ahead.
Verse 5. But watch thou in all things, endure affliction.
And do what?
Endure affliction.
The Bible says endure affliction, man. When you're going through some hard times, just go through it, man. Keep fighting, man. Listen, Christ says what? Something about a good soldier, endure hardships like a good soldier of Yahushua, man. That's what you have to do. Endure hardships. Everything in life ain't gonna be easy. And if everything in life is easier, you ain't experienced life yet, man. You have to go through certain things in life so you can be like, you know what? I went through some hard times and I came out on the other side. Go ahead.
God, do the work of an evangelist.
There you go, man. Do the work of an evangelist, man. Go ahead.
Make full proof of thy ministry.
Make full proof of thy ministry, man. Go ahead.
For I am now.
What verse yet? Oh, go ahead.
For I am now ready to be offered, and the time of my departure is at hand.
So this is when Paul was ready to die, basically. This is when Paul's time's almost up. Paul stayed in this truth, fighting, man. Paul went to Damascus here. I'm sure he went to Damascus to what? Kill some Israelites, right? To lock up some followers of Yahushua. And then he got blind on the way there. And then that was it, man. After that, Paul came to this truth and became hardcore and kept the laws and became the chiefest of all the apostles. Go ahead.
I have fought a good fight. I have finished my course.
He said, "I've fought a good fight. I've finished my course." And that's what you need to do, man. Finish your course, man. Stay in this truth until you die, man.
Right.
Don't think this is all just a 1 week thing. Don't think this is just a month thing. Don't think this is all just I'm gonna come to Passover thing. Listen, man. You have to finish the course, man. It's like a race, man. Listen, if you don't cross that line, you ain't completed the race, man. You need to cross that line, man. And you stay in this truth until you die. Go ahead.
I have fought a good fight. I have finished my course. I have kept the faith.
I have what?
Kept the faith.
Paul kept the faith, man. And Paul told you there's many men which is going to be turned on to fables. Many people that left the UPK, they've been turned on to fables, man. All these other fake Israelite groups, all their leaders at one stage started off in the I.S.U.P.K, man. And they left the truth and got turned on to fables. Some of them is full on in Christianity now, man. Some of them is full on white people in their camp now, man. And so forth. They've left the truth and been turned onto fables, man. And this is why you need to stay in here and endure sound doctrine. Don't be trying to tweak the doctrine, trying to change it a little bit. People say, "Oh, you I.S.U.P.K, you stuck in the past, man. You ain't changed. You ain't." What did they say? You ain't leveled up. Listen, man. Well, guess what? You leveling up has now you accept Africans, man. You leveling up now you accept white people. And soon you're going to level up so much that you're going to have homosexuals in your camp. GMS already got them. GMS leveled up all the way. Listen, GMS leveled up all the way, man, to where they got men in their camp that is full on homosexuals now, man. Go ahead. Say something. Oh, yeah. Go ahead. Is there any more on that?
Henceforth, there is laid up for me a crown of righteousness.
Henceforth, there is what?
Laid up for me a crown of righteousness.
He said, henceforth, there's laid up for me a crown of righteousness, man. You know why? Because he didn't change the doctrine. He didn't leave the truth. He stayed, he went through his afflictions, he served God, he kept the faith, he kept the laws, and then there's a law, man. There's a crown stored up for him, man. There's a crown stored up for him. Go ahead.
Which the Lord, the righteous judge, shall give me at that day.
Go ahead, isn't it?
And not only me only.
And he said, not only me only, not only him only is gonna receive that crown of life. Go ahead.
But unto all them that love his appearing.
But unto what?
All them that love his appearing.
But unto all them that love his appearing, man. Listen, those who love his appearing, they stay in the truth, man. And they're gonna serve him, and they're gonna hold fast until he comes, and they're gonna hold on to these traditions. They're gonna keep these laws. They're gonna keep these statutes. They're gonna keep these commandments, man. That's what they're gonna do. Go ahead.
Do thy diligence to come shortly unto me.
That's it on that. Give me the Hebrews chapter 3 and verse 12.
Hebrews 3 and 12. Take heed, brethren, lest there be any of you an evil heart of unbelief.
It says, take heed, man, lest there be any of you, man, with an evil mind. Go ahead.
In departing from the living power.
In what?
In departing from the living power.
In departing from God, man. Listen, some people have it in their mind like they will always have these things like, oh, why do I do this, man? I can't be arsed, man. I'd rather go back to my old life. I'd rather do this. I'd rather do... Listen, when you're saying all that, that's Satan, man. That's Satan attacking you, man. Listen, once that's in your mind, you better call for counsel, man. You better be around the brothers, man. And they will show you why you should never leave this, man. They should show you why you should hold on to this till the day you die, man.
Right.
They will show you that, man. Go ahead.
But exhort one another daily.
What?
Exhort one another daily.
And he said, exhort one another daily, man. We uplift brothers, man. We're meant to uplift one another. Go ahead.
Wow, it is called today, lest any of you be hardened through the deceitfulness of sin.
Lest any of you be hardened through the deceitfulness of sin. Go ahead.
For we are made partakers of Christ if we hold the beginning of our confidence steadfast unto the end.
For we partakers of Yahushua, man. We're going to partake in everything that he has and whatnot. If we hold fast, go ahead. Let them on that. That's it. Yeah, go ahead.
I've got a question online from Ala Ban Yehuda.
No, sir.
Salaki said, can I have some precepts on weed being unlawful?
Yeah, you got the one evil man puts to his lips and whatnot.
That's Proverbs 16.
And there's some more. And also, if you look up the history on weed, it comes from what people smoke weed to what worship their God, right? So weed is what idol worship. Give me after that, give me no God before me, because it ties into that as well. Because weed is another form of idol worship. Weed is no different to what kissing a Christian, worshiping a Christian cross, kissing a cross. It's another form of idol worship. Go ahead. And it's another form of worshiping an other God, other than what you've known. Smoking weed is no different to what? Celebrating Eid, celebrating Rastafarianism. It's all one in the same. But most of these weed smokers won't tell you, won't give you the history of weed and whatnot. They won't give you it of the origins of it and so forth. But don't worry, I'll just quickly go over it in a minute. But let me know when you get them.
Right, I've got 1 Corinthians 3 and 16.
Yeah, go ahead. That's a good one.
All right. If any man defile the temple of God.
It says, if any man defile the temple of God, man. And what's the temple of God today? That's your body, right? You defile it by what? Putting weed in there. Listen, I'm putting smoke in there. You're destroying the temple of God, man. You're destroying your body. Your body is the temple of God, and you're destroying your body with these drugs that you put in there, man. You ain't supposed to put drugs in your body. Go ahead.
Him shall God destroy.
Him what?
Shall God destroy.
Him what?
Shall God destroy.
Him shall God destroy. And this is why most of these weed smokers, after a few amount of years, what happens? They end up in the mental home. They end up shaking. They end up with cancer. Because what? They're putting things in their body that they're not supposed to. They're destroying the temple of God. They're not keeping the temple of God pure. You're supposed to keep the temple of God pure. Putting weed and cigarettes in your body ain't keeping it pure.
That's right.
Putting pork and whatever in your body ain't keeping it pure. You're destroying the temple of God, so God will destroy you. Go ahead.
For the temple of God is holy.
For the what?
For the temple of God is holy.
For the temple of God is holy. And listen, the reason why you're the temple of God now is because what? Back then people knew the building, the temple of God was holy, so you wouldn't smoke weed in there. So why do you feel that you can come out of there and smoke weed now? So the Lord's saying, This is the temple of God. The same thing you wouldn't do in that temple when Solomon had his temple and whatnot. Don't do it in your own body, man. You wouldn't go in that temple and smoke weed. Don't smoke weed now, man. You wouldn't go eat pork in there. Don't put weed in this temple, man. Same thing, man. Keep same way that temple was holy. You better keep this temple holy, which is your body. Go ahead.
Which temple year?
Which what?
Which temple year?
Which temple year, man? Go ahead.
Let no man deceive himself.
Let no man deceive himself, and don't be smoking weed, tricking yourself, deceiving yourself, thinking, oh, this gives me more knowledge. This is the right thing to do. Surely a little bit of smoke in my body ain't too bad for me. Surely the Lord don't mind me smoking. Like, even on the white man's cigarette packets, he tells you, man, smoking kills. Even the devil knows that smoking kills, man. Listen, even the devil knows that smoking kills. What the white man's basically saying to you is what? Smoking kills, but because I can make a killing off you, because I can make £10 a box off you, I'm gonna sell it to you anyway. So that's why they sell you what's it called and so forth. They know smoking kills, but because they know that they're gonna make money off you, they sell it to you. Go ahead.
Even a house burn down.
Exactly from the smoke inhalation. However you say it, so like how you say it. Go ahead.
If any man among you seemeth to be wise in this world, let him become a fool that he may be wise.
Any man that thinks is wise in this world, let him become a fool that he may be wise, man. So sometimes you have to become a fool, man, and learn from brothers who's really wise and learn how to be wise. Anyone that? Did you have a next one?
The history of cannabis.
Go ahead.
Cannabis was known to the ancient Assyrians.
Cannabis was known to the ancient Assyrians, man. Go ahead.
Who
Nice.
discovered its psychoactive properties through the Iranians.
They discovered what?
Its psychoactive properties through the Iranians.
They discovered its psychoactive properties through the Iranians. Go ahead.
Using it in some religious ceremonies.
Using it in what?
Religious ceremonies.
So they started to use all these drugs in religious ceremonies. They used it in religious ceremonies. You go back to the East Indians. This is why weed is so popular amongst the Rastafarians and the Benjamites, because they used to put weed in a horn. The East Indians used to put weed in a horn, a ram's horn, and smoke it and be like, and praise their God. That was how they so-called connected with their God. That was how they worship their God, with weed smoke. So when you're doing that today, you're basically worshiping other gods. Go ahead. Whether you know it or not, you're still worshiping other god by weed smoking. Go ahead.
They called it kundu, meaning the way to produce smoke.
They called it what?
Kundu.
And listen, and this is why when people smoke, they start to see things, man. This one. No, sir. And when people smoke, it's like if you could. When people smoke, they start to see things. They start to say, yeah, I smoked and the vending machine was chasing me. That's what one brother said. I smoked and the floor was moving. Listen, if you smoke and the floor's moving, that should let you know something's not right, man. The floor's moving and the vending machine's chasing you. Listen, that should let you know smoking's not right. Go ahead.
Yeah, kundu meaning a way to smoke.
What's it, kundu? Say that again. Kum what? Kumbu. And listen, man, our native language is Hebrew, man. Listen, anything the other language we shouldn't do. Kumbu. Listen, straight away, that should let you know it's not for us. Kumbu. That should let you know that nonsense ain't for us. Go ahead.
The Iranians also introduced cannabis to the Scythians.
And they introduced cannabis to the Scythians. So now they're introducing cannabis to other people, and then it got passed around to this person, to this person, to this person. And the whole point of cannabis started off with they would do it for religious ceremonies, then it would get passed on to someone else. And then now you have what? People trying to sell you weed now. You wasting all your money on weed now when they used to do it for religious ceremonies. Go ahead. That was it on that. And then also it's popular in the East Indians. They do it. What did they do it for? I can't remember the name now. Was it Tekeli? They used to do it to Kelly. That's who the East Indians did it for. So weed is just something which was a religious ceremony that just went around and around and around and so forth. So they done it to worship their gods, and that's where weed smoke came from. Any more precepts?
Yeah. Proverbs 26:7. An ungodly man diggeth up evil.
It says an ungodly man diggeth up evil, man. Go ahead.
And in his lips there is as a burning fire.
And in his lips there is as a burning fire, man. And what when you put weed to your lips, what is it? A fire that's burning, man. You burn something in this. to your lips and whatnot. Go ahead. That's it, I think there was the next one.
Ezekiel 8 and 17.
Go ahead.
Then he said unto me, hast thou seen this, O son of man? It is a light thing to the house of Judah that they commit the abominations which they commit, for they have filled the land with violence.
And listen, man, it's a light thing that they've done this. Have you seen what they do? They fill the land with violence. Go ahead.
And have returned to provoke me to anger.
And they've returned to provoke him to anger, meaning what? They don't get in the Lord mad again. Go ahead.
And lo, they put the branch to their nose.
And he says, lo, they put the branch to their nose. Now what? When a man buys some weed, what's the first thing he does? Takes the branch. Takes the branch, and that smells good. They put the branch to their nose, man, to smell it, man, to see if this is good, to see if they should spend their money on this gram. That's what they do. Go ahead. That's it. Yeah, they put the branch to their nose, man. They put the branch to their nose. Then what do they do? Pull it in the Rizla, roll it up, and then put the fire to their lips and start smoking. And they're worshipping other gods in the process. Give me that next one when it says, I don't have no other gods before me. I'm gonna get you one more for time's sake. Let me get one more.
Exodus 20:3. Thou shalt have no other gods before me.
Says, thou shalt have no other gods before me. Every time you smoke weed, you put another god before him, man. Same way you put another god before him when you celebrate Christmas. Same thing when you celebrate Christmas. Oh, and give me the next one when it says the herbs is for me. Yeah, that one as well. I'm gonna get some more. I can't remember exactly where it's at, but yeah, every time you celebrate Christmas, you put another god before him. You smoke weed, you put another god before him, because all these things is attached to other gods. Weed smoke is origins of it is what attached to another god, and you meant to have no other gods before the Most High, man. And that's what weed smoke's attached to. I'm gonna get another one as well. Yeah, it's good. I think it's Genesis. Is it 1 and 19, 29? Sure, it's 1 and 29 or something and 29. Or it's 2 and 29.
Yeah, 1 and 29.
1 and 29. I thought so, because all these weed smokers that's it. I've been dealing with a ton of weed smokers since coming into the UPK. Go ahead.
Genesis 1 and 29.
So, brother, this is Genesis 1:29. What's the brother's name again?
It's Al-Isaac.
Al-Isaac. This is Genesis 1:29. This is the one that these weed smokers this is the one that they're gonna pull first here. This is the one that they're gonna pull it here. Go ahead.
And God said, behold, I have given you every herb bearing seed.
And listen, they're gonna say, listen, man, weed is herbs, man. Here's the seed. Here's the seeds in this weed to prove it, man. God gave us this weed, man. God gave us this calibod. God gave us this gelato. What else did they call it? God gave us this cookie scout. There's some they got some silly names for them. God gave us this blue muffin. God gave us this cheese. That's what they're gonna say to you. They're gonna say, listen, God gave us these herbs. They're gonna look, read it. God gave us these herbs. Go ahead.
Which is upon the face of all the earth.
And they're gonna say, look, man, it's on the face of the earth. God gave us it to smoke. Where else would God pull it there? We're supposed to smoke it, man. God gave us it to smoke. Go ahead.
And every tree in which is the fruit of the tree in the seed.
And it says, which is the fruit of the tree in the seed. Go ahead.
To you it shall be for meat.
Oh, no. It shall be to smoke.
Shall be for meat.
No, it shall be to smoke and become a cycle.
Be for meat.
It shall be for what?
Be for meat.
And what's meat? Meat is something that you eat, man. Listen, God gave you herbs to eat, man, to digest. Like you see when you get sick, you can digest some sorts of herbs, man. But what do Christians go and do? But everyone else in the world and Christians, what do they do? Go and smoke drugs, man. They use that to smoke drugs. They use that to smoke themselves silly. They use that to smoke and get a high and have the time of their life and become the slowest person on God's green earth. They use it for that when herbs was for me. You got a next one?
Yeah, in the wisdom of Solomon.
Go ahead.
Just kidding.
Bro, this is the next one in the Wisdom of Solomon. Go ahead.
1 second. I need to look for it.
No sweat. We're gonna find the next one for you as well. Because in this truth, you're gonna come across a lot of people that are gonna try and find a way to smoke weed. A lot of people that are gonna try and justify smoking weed. That are gonna justify this. Listen, you're gonna see some fake Israelites that add you on Facebook, and they're gonna have a picture of a spliff. And usually, you see the ones that smoke weed. They're the Israelites whose name is what's their name on there? Who believe in Yah and Yahweh and Yahuwah. And the reason they say those names is because they're high. And when you're high, your brain's not all there. Their brain's not all there. They're high out their mind. They've been smoking weed for so much years that they're slow now. So now they say Yahuwah and Yahoshua and all of those things. Yahashua, and listen, that's that weed smoke talking. They're high out their mind, and usually you can tell the weed smokers. That's the things that they say. You can't find it, no sir. I think I know which one you was. Give me 1 second. Let me see if it's this one. Yeah, go ahead.
Wisdom of Solomon 14 and 20 and the 22nd verse. Moreover, this was not enough for them. So it's talking about people that serve the other gods. That they erred in the knowledge of God, but whereas they lived in great war of ignorance, those so great plagues called they peace, whilst they slew their kids in sacrifices or used secret ceremonies or made revelings of strange rites.
Or made revelings of strange rites and use what ceremonies. That's what people do with drugs, man. Read it from the top.
Moreover, this was not enough for them, that they erred in the knowledge of God.
They erred in the knowledge of God, man. They don't understand the truth. They err in the knowledge of God. They err in the righteousness of God. So because they err in the righteousness of God, herbs is what? Herbs is to smoke weed now. They misinterpret scriptures. Herbs is to smoke weed now. God gave us herbs, and that means just smoke it and smoke crack and everything else that seems good to the eye. Go ahead.
But whereas they lived in a great war of ignorance.
They lived in a great war of ignorance, meaning ignorance means what? To not know. Like they don't know anything, and smoking weed is going to make you know even less than you do know. They lived in great ignorance. Go ahead.
Those so great plagues called they peace.
And they called what?
They called great plagues peace.
They call great plagues peace, man. Listen, they think it's peace that they're psychotic and out of their mind, man. You think being a psychopath is what? Peace? No, man, that's not. They call these plagues peace. They call punishments and things peace, man. They call plagues and stuff peace. Listen, how is that peace, man? You smoking, being out of your mind, falling all over, sleeping everywhere, looking like a madman. They call that peace, man. When it's not no peace, go ahead.
For whilst they slew their children in sacrifices, or
saying while they slew their children in sacrifices, how can that apply to today? Meaning what? You go you go leave go leave your kids in the house on their own because you want to go get high. You go overdose in the house in front of your kids, man. You go not take care of your kids because you want to get high. Listen, there's court orders on brothers that can't see their kids because what? They get high, right? Listen, you'd rather Get high instead of looking after your kids, man. Listen, weed ain't done no good, man. Weed ain't done no good. People burn their house. Listen, there was a man that smoked a cigarette. He left the cigarette on his bed and he burnt the house down, and his kids ended up dying in that fire, man. If he didn't smoke, guess what would have happened? The house would have never burnt down because there would be no need for a lit cigarette. He had this spliff. The spliff was so strong it knocked him out and it set fire to the bed, and his kids died, man. All because he wanted some weed, man. Go ahead.
Or use certain ceremonies, or made revelings of strange rites.
And they make revelings of strange rites, man. Listen, they make something so wrong. They try and make it seem so right, like, oh, herbs. This is for what do them Africans say now about weed now? I can't remember what they say now. Things like, oh, weed grew on Solomon's grave, so that means we could smoke it. Like, where does it say that? Like, you need to show me where it, people need to show me where it says these things. Because it grew there, that means you can smoke. Listen, that don't make no sense, man. Listen, there's a lot of things that grow. Apples grow. I don't see you smoking apples. I don't see you smoking anything else. I think there's a next one in Ecclesiasticus. Do you know which one?
I'm not sure.
I can't remember what it is. All right, then. Let me know if that answers your question. Go on, you can say something.
Yeah, I'm saying with the strange right part, a lot of weed smoke always went to the rights of some false god. So it's like, if I was talking about, what to do with the strange rights, you know what I mean? Weed smoke for the Assyrians and many ancient empires. It always was involved.
And black people ain't got a clue about the origins. This is the thing with us, we never do research. So it just looks good and we just go ahead and do it. Whereas there's origins. You can look up the origins of most things. Weed has its origins, cigarettes, everything has its origins. I'm sure they even used to had drugs in Egypt as well, right? I think they had drugs in Egypt as well. So at the time it was in Egypt, they had drugs and all of them things as well. Go ahead.
With the Egyptian drugs, you used to shove them in your behind. Yeah, that was the way how they would hide them, shoving it behind and said they would give him a euphoric better ear. So that's how Egyptians took their drugs.
See, and that scares how, man. That's disgusting, man. Egyptians, man, shoving drugs in there behind. And then listen, it won't support. Listen, people still do that. People still do that now, man. With all these go ahead. Is there any more in that? Or is that about it?
That was it.
Give me James chapter 1 and verse 2. Oh, this is the last one, then after I wrap it up for time's sake. So yeah, those are some scriptures that you can put in your arsenal for smoking anything. For smoking anything, weed, drugs, whatnot. Just put those in your arsenal and whatnot.
James 1 and 2. My brethren, count it all joy when ye fall into diverse temptations.
So when you fall into temptations, count it as joy, man. Because the Lord's on your side, man. All right, man, the Lord's dealing with you, man. The reason you're being tempted is to see how strong your faith is, man. You need to excel in it and be like, you know what? I'm not gonna bitch up, man. I'm gonna stay in this truth. Go ahead.
Knowing this, that the trying of your faith worketh patience.
The trying of your faith worketh patience, man. Things ain't gonna happen overnight. You have to be patient. This is a walk where you have to be patient, man. You're gonna have some bad days, some good days. You can't just be here on the good days and want to lock yourself away on the bad days and say you want to leave the truth. It don't work like that. Go ahead.
But let patience have her perfect work.
But let patience have her perfect work, man. Whatever you're going through, understand this. It's only going to be for a time. It's not going to be forever. Don't leave the truth over some damn issue or over some damn tribulation or some trial you're going through. Don't do that. Go ahead.
That ye may be perfect.
And listen, this patience will make these hard times you go through. It will make you perfect, man. And also, it means what the hard things you've gone through. When you see younger brothers coming to truth, going through the same thing, you can be like, you know what? I went through that, man. This is how you handle it. This is how you deal with it. You can be an example, man. You don't want to be the guy that's talked about, oh, yeah, he went through this tribulation and he left the truth because he's a coward. You don't want to be that guy, man. You want to be the guy that went through it and overcame. Go ahead.
and entire, wanting nothing. If any of you lack wisdom, let him ask of God.
Any of you lack wisdom, man, ask of God, man. Come to the UPK for counsel, man. Anyone that?
Yeah, that's given to all men liberally.
And listen, man, God will give you the wisdom, man. Just come in here, we'll teach you how to get that wisdom, how to be wise, how to keep God's laws, statutes, and commandments. Anyone that?
And upbraideth not, and it shall be given unto him.
Listen, man, that wisdom will be given unto you, man. Stay in here and you will get wisdom, and so forth. And with that, we're up on the time, so we're gonna do the announcements, the prayers, and then we out of here.
That was a powerful clap to give officer done by hand. That's foremost. This is we are the ISUPK. Started out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under commanding GEN.YAHANNA. Ruled for a new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. They're here to shed themselves of the world. Yet, if they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After the 6 months, the brother and sister will get permission from the heads to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment, Numbers 18:21, Malachi 3:8-10, means tenth in the Hebrew, Ma'ashra, 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives to the Treasury Department. Priest fund, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like to give. Upcoming holy convocations is the Feast of First Fruits, aka the Feast of Wheat, on the 17th of June, which is on a Monday. So yeah, make sure you're here, 394 Lodge Road, postcode B18 5PW. All Akim and Akwaf, check the bulletin board in the hallway and check all I.S.U.P.K social media as well. So the Facebooks, Instagrams, YouTubes, etc. If anyone wants to become a trooper in school, to start wearing all black boots, shirts, pants, headbands, and scarves, and with that, we're going to rise and face the east.
Abanawa, Shabash, Shemaya, Kudash, Haya, Shamka, Yahweh, Malakufka, Taba'a, Ratazaka, Haya, I.S.U.P.K, Bo'aratazak, Kawok, Haya, Washemaya, the come, cow, you want, Wasalak Noah, Kawawaf Noah, Kasalak Noah, Kawawaf Noah, Wala'a, Tabi'ai Noah, Wanna say one, a ball, Kawashai Noah, Mayan, right, Kaya, Lakab, Hamalakwa, Wahapara. I will love you. Amen.
In the English. Our Father, art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, in earth, as it is in heaven. Give us this day, our daily bread, forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors, lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever.
So be. And the prayer for the power of God. Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Like Baba Shah, the Falinawa, Haka, La Ba'a, Kalmakala, Wakalmadawa, Haka, Lataha, Hamatazaraya, Haka, Lahakuyam, Hamafia, Haka, Arakawa, Hatama Allah, Lagara Shan, Washemi Hawashai, Tuwala Aman,
In the English, Yahweh.
Yahweh,
In the name of Yahweh.
in the name of Yahweh,
Please
please
give us the power.
give us the
The
power
power to heal.
to
All
heal
manner of sickness.
all manner of sickness,
All manner of disease.
and all manner of
The
disease,
power to cleanse the lepers.
the power to cleanse the
The
lepers,
power to raise the dead.
the power to raise the
The
dead,
power against unclean spirits.
the power against unclean spirits,
Cast them out.
to cast them
In
out.
the name of Yahweh.
In the name of Yahweh,
Thank you.
thank you.
So be it.
So be it. And the blessings, Barakatah Yahweh,
Barakatah
Wa Yahweh Shai,
Wa Yahweh Shai.
Wa Mayaka Allah,
Wa Mayaka Allah.
Wa Alahayim,
Wa Alahayim.
Wa Tazabiya,
Tanzania.
Allah Wakihana,
Allah.
Ha Alawakir,
Ha Alawakir.
Ha Serenium,
Ha Serenium.
Ha Quatazayanium,
Ha Quatazayanium.
Ha Kaliyanium,
Ha Kaliyanium.
Wa Akwafim,
Wa Akwafim.
Yahweh,
Yahweh.
Wa Shemi
Wa
Hawashai,
Shemi
Wa Aman,
In the English. Bless you, Yahweh.
bless you Yahweh,
And Yahweh Shai.
and Yahweh Shai,
And Michael.
and Michael,
And the angels.
and the angels,
Commanding General Yohanna.
Commanding General
The
Yohanna,
generals.
the generals,
The captains.
the
The
captains,
officers.
the officers,
The troopers.
the troopers,
And the sisters.
and the sisters,
Yahweh.
Yahweh,
In the name of Yahweh Shai.
in the name of Yahweh Shai,
Thank you.
thank you,
So be it.
so be
Blessed are you, Yahweh.
Blessed are you, Yahweh,
King of heaven and earth.
King of heaven and earth,
And all things living.
and all things living,
Yahweh.
Yahweh,
In the name of Yahweh Shai.
in the name of Yahweh Shai,
Listen to us now.
listen to us now,
Right now.
right now,
And evils.
and evils,
Curses.
and curses,
Punishment.
and punishment,
Destruction.
and destruction,
Death.
and death,
To the heathen.
to the heathen,
That speak against
that
us.
speak against us,
By prophets.
our prophets,
The teachers.
the teachers,
The princes.
the princes,
The priests.
the priests,
The Israelite brothers.
the Israelite brothers,
And the school.
and the school,
And evils.
and evils,
Curses.
and curses,
And punishment.
and punishment,
Destruction.
and destruction,
Death.
and death,
To the heathen.
to the heathen,
And shake loose.
and shake loose
The pockets.
the
Of
pockets
the rich of Israel.
of the rich of Israel
That refuse.
that refuse
To give to the school.
to give to the school,
Force their riches.
force their riches,
To enter into thy sanctuary.
enter into thy
And
sanctuary,
evils.
and evils,
And curses.
and curses,
And punishment.
and punishment,
And destruction.
and destruction,
Death.
and death,
To the Edomites.
to the Edomites,
And the nations.
and the
And
nations,
the drug
and
dealers.
the drug
The
dealers,
court
the
system.
court
The
system,
prison system.
the prison system,
Planned Parenthood.
Planned Parenthood,
All the governments of our enemies.
all the governments of our enemies,
Amalek synagogues and armies.
Amalek synagogues and armies,
Roman Catholic Church.
Roman Catholic Church,
The Pope.
the Pope,
Islam.
Islam,
Christianity.
Christianity,
Egyptology.
Egyptology,
Militia.
militia,
Ku Klux Klan.
Ku Klux Klan,
Aryan Nation.
Aryan Nation,
Skinheads.
Skinheads,
Pascal Matazi.
Pascal
The
Matazi,
gay movement.
the gay
The
movement,
lesbian
the
movement.
lesbian movement,
Spies.
spies,
Workers of witchcraft.
workers of
NASA
witchcraft,
space program.
NASA space program,
Army. Navy.
Navy,
Air Force.
Air Force,
Marines.
Marines,
Wall Street.
Wall Street,
Open up the internet.
open up the internet,
And the airways.
and the airways,
Cable access channels.
the cable access
And the
channels,
radio channels.
and the radio
Convict
channels,
the spirit.
convict the
Many
spirit,
of thy people.
and many of thy
That
people
seek to stop
that
us.
seek to stop us,
Bring swift death.
and bring swift death
To all the heathens.
to all the
That
heathen
stand in the way.
that stand in the way,
Try to stop us.
of trying to stop
From
us
broadcasting your words.
from broadcasting your words
Throughout the planet Earth.
throughout the planet Earth.
Let loose.
Let loose
All the terrorists.
all the terrorists,
Cause them to go.
cause them to
To
go
and fro.
to and fro
Through the earth.
through the
And
earth,
destroy.
and destroy,
Cause the terrorists.
cause the terrorists
Come against America.
come against America,
And destroy them.
and destroy
In
them
their strongholds.
in their strongholds.
Let America.
Let America shake
At the hands of the terrorists.
at the hands of the
Let
terrorists.
Yahweh shine.
Let Yahweh shine.
Michael.
Michael,
Gabriel.
Gabriel,
Come down with the flying saucers.
come down with the flying
And
saucers,
all the heathens.
and kill all the
That
heathen
come up against us.
that come up against us,
Speak thy word.
and to speak thy word,
Cause to be known.
cause to be known
By all.
by all
That is the angels.
That is the
That
angels
have done it.
that have done it,
Cause to be spread.
cause to be
Through
spread
the media.
through the media,
Throughout the whole world.
throughout the whole world,
Cause them to shake.
cause to shake
As I come in.
as I come in,
In the name of Yahweh shine.
in the name of Yahweh Shai.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Always.
Always.
So be it.
so be it.
With the blessed Israel Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai,
Hashem Yahushua,
Barakanawa,
Barakanawa,
Wala Sha'ala,
Sha'ala,
Wahapaya,
Wahapaya,
Sapaya,
Sapaya,
Barakapa,
Barakapa,
Magan Hagan,
the Gordon family,
Gordon family,
George family,
George family,
Betty family,
Betty family,
Gardner family,
Gardner family, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai,
Hashem Yahushua,
Wala Aman,
Wala Aman,
and what we said was, Lord, in the name of Yahweh Shai, bless us and Israel and the school, bless your shield, protect our loved ones. In the name of Yahweh Shai, thank you. So be it. With that, when the one gets to the teacher, Men of Israel, Aman Shabbat, Amanim, Barak, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Barakah,
Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shabbat Kafam.
Yah Jabbatah, class dismissed.